Hello everyone and welcome to weekly show number 37 for this February this February 8th of 2020. There. So we'll be talking about some NHL and NBA, of course, the usual stuff. We'll take a look at NHL standings and the leaders and stuff like that. You know, pretty much the usual stuff on here. Let's first start out with NHL scores. Yesterday, Toronto beat Anaheim in overtime, 5-4. I'm kind of surprised that this game went to overtime, to be completely honest with you. Mainly because where Anaheim is in the standings and where Toronto is in the standings, like, I don't know. But anyway, Buffalo, they beat the Rangers yesterday by a score of 3-2. Right now, both these teams aren't in the playoff spot. They actually need to climb up. Well, the Rangers have to climb up 4 spots, and the Buffalo has to climb up 5 spots in order to get a playoff spot, which I don't think they will. But anyway, Detroit beat Columbus, or Columbus beat Detroit, 2-0, and Minnesota beat Dallas by a score of 3-2. Afternoon game, Ottawa versus Winnipeg. Let's make some predictions. Whoops, sorry about that. There. Just turning on my tablet. I need a highlighter. Do I have a highlighter? I think I do. Hold on. Okay, so Ottawa at Winnipeg. Winnipeg is going to win, obviously. Arizona versus Boston. I'm going with Boston. This will be a good game, though. Toronto versus Montreal. Considering the fact that Toronto won last night in overtime, I feel like the most obvious choice would be to go with Montreal. The most obvious choice would be to go Toronto, but I mean, they went to overtime last night. They're probably tired coming into Montreal, so that's why I'm going Montreal to win. The Islanders are at Tampa Bay. These are teams both in a playoff spot, barely. But I think the Islanders are going to get the W, because a lot of these teams that I picked, there are a lot of upsets on a Saturday, it seems like. So anyway, Pittsburgh, Florida. Florida's winning that game, obviously. New Jersey is obviously winning versus LA. Philadelphia, Washington. I'm going with Washington. Colorado's at Columbus. Now, this one's a tough one, because Columbus, they played last night, even though they won 2-0. They still have home ice advantage in this game. So, like, Colorado didn't play last night, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. So that's why I'm going with Columbus. But I will not be surprised if Colorado wins, though. Nashville versus Edmonton. Let's look at them standings-wise, because this might determine which one I pick. Okay, so Edmonton's third in the Pacific, and Nashville is just outside of a wild card spot. So with that in mind, I'm going to go with Edmonton. Dallas at St. Louis. St. Louis, no dirt. Calgary, Vancouver. I'm going to go with Vancouver. Carolina at Vegas. This will be a good game, but I think Vegas is going to pull out the W. So the only away team I picked was the Islanders. So we'll have to see where that goes. Excuse me. NBA games yesterday. The Wizards beat the Mavericks 119-118. The 76ers beat the Grizzlies 119-107. The Celtics beat the Hawks 112-107. The Oklahoma City Thunder beat Detroit 108-101. Toronto beat Indianapolis 115-106. Phoenix beat Houston 127-91. Sacramento beat the Heat 105-97. Utah beat Portland 117-114. Today's games, even though we don't count up NBA games, I still like to go predictions though. So let's do it. Milwaukee at Orlando. I'm gonna go with Milwaukee. Dallas at Charlotte. I'm gonna go with Charlotte. The Knicks but that might be a really bad pick though. Knicks at Detroit. I'm going with Detroit. Brooklyn's at Toronto. This will be a good game, I think. But Toronto will win. New Orleans at Indiana. Indiana played last night, and they lost to Toronto. So that's why I want to choose the Pelicans, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Indianapolis is going to turn it around tonight. The Clippers are at the Timberwolves. This is kind of a tough one to pick. I'm going to go with the Clippers, though. But the Lakers are winning versus Golden State. Denver at Phoenix. I'm going to go with Phoenix. San Antonio at Sacramento. I'm going to go with San Antonio. Okay, so let's take a look at some NHL standings. This could take a while for how much I talk during this. Okay. Top three in the Metro, excuse me. Washington, Pittsburgh, and Columbus. Washington, that's not a surprise for them to be up there. They're right back where they are. Pittsburgh, they have 77 points. Pittsburgh is second in the Metropolitan. They have 71 points, so I have a bit of a drop there from 77 to 71. But Columbus isn't far behind Pittsburgh, though. My hair kind of is growing long, isn't it? They're not far behind with 69 points. Top three in the Atlantic, Boston's first with 78. Then Tampa Bay's next with 73, so a bit of a drop there. And then Toronto was 65, so another big drop there. The Islanders in Carolina have the 2 wildcard spots. Excuse me. Okay. Islanders have 68 points and Carolina has 65 points. So they have the 2 wildcard spots. Surprisingly, Philadelphia is actually right behind them with 65 points. So they're tied with Carolina for that second wildcard spot. Philadelphia has sort of turned it around there because they were kind of down like around the 5th or 6th seed, I think, at one point. Florida, though, isn't right far behind them with 64. I think Florida, if they play well, they can make it, if that makes sense. Montreal, they're 5th with 59 points. I don't think Montreal is going to make the playoffs. I don't think the Rangers will. Buffalo, I don't think they will either. Jersey, for sure not. Ottawa, for sure not. And Detroit, for sure not. Yeah, that's what I think about that. In the Western, St. Louis, Colorado, and Dallas hold the top 3. Not a surprise there at all. Then in the Pacific, Vancouver, Vegas, Edmonton. Vegas is right where I want them to be, but Vancouver and Edmonton, they've stepped it up a lot this year. Arizona and Calgary hold the 2 wildcard spots. This surprises me a lot, to be honest with you. I had them in my top 3, I believe, in the Central. Or there were 2 of my top 3 in the Central. But Nashville isn't far behind them. Or isn't far behind Calgary at all. They have 59 points. Winnipeg has 59 points. Minnesota 58. Chicago 58. And San Jose, Anaheim, and LA are the bottom 3. The California teams. San Jose with 52. Anaheim with 51. And LA with 43. So LA's pretty much back to the team we all know them after they won the 2 Stanley Cups back in 2012 and 2014. So, yeah, that's it for our weekly show. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It's a little shorter than it was, or than it usually is, but that's okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys on my next video.